Welcome back, y'all. This is a Wiki Reader where I read Wikipedia pages to you so you don't have to. And I do the deep dives for you so you don't have to. And today, y'all, we're going to be talking about Giordano Bruno. We'll just call him Mr. Bruno and not pronounce his first name because it's Italian. So we'll give the brief overview on the first half. Giordano Bruno, Mr. Bruno, was born Filippo Bruno in 1548 to February of 1548 to February of 1600. Okay, that's when he was alive. Dang, short lifespan. And we will find out why it was such a short lifespan. The Italian philosopher, poet, alchemist, astronomer, cosmological theorist, and astrophysicist. I don't know what that does. He is known for his cosmological theories, which conceptually extend to include the then novel Copernican model. He practiced hermetism, and gave a mystical stance to exploring the universe. He proposed that the stars were distant suns surrounded by their own planets, exoplanets, and raised the possibility that these planets might foster life of their own, a cosmological position known as cosmic pluralism. Shocker. Wow, this man's ahead of his time. He also insisted that the universe is infinite and could have no center. This man is way ahead of his time. What happens to old Mr. Bruno during this time? Mr. Bruno was tried for heresy by the Roman Inquisition on charges of denial of several core Catholic doctrines, including eternal damnation, the Trinity, the deity of Christ, the virginity of Mary, the transubstantiation. Oh, well. And Mr. Bruno's pantheism was not taken lightly by the church, nor was his teachings of metempsychosis regarding the reincarnation of the soul. The Inquisition found him guilty, and he was burned at the stake in Rome Campo de Fiori in 1600, so when he turned 52. After his death, he gained considerable amount of fame, being particularly celebrated by the 19th and early 20th century commentators who regarded him as a martyr for science. Some historians are of the opinion his heresy trial was not a response to his cosmological views, but rather the response to his religious and afterlife views, while others find the main reason for Bruno's death was indeed his cosmological views. If that is so, he was ahead of the time. Bruno's case is still considerable a landmark in history of free thought and the emerging of sciences. Free thought is a thing. Free thought and free will. If you don't have free thought, you don't have anything. In addition to cosmology, Bruno also wrote extensively on the art of memory, a loosely organized group of mnemonic techniques and principles. Historian Francis Yates argues that Bruno was deeply influenced by Presocratic, Napoleonism, Renaissance, Hermetism, and the Book of Genesis, like legends surrounding the Hellenistic conception of Hermes Trismegistus. I don't know. Other studies of Bruno have focused on his qualitative approach to mathematics and his application of the spatial concept of geometry to language. Okay, who cares about his early life? He was a poet and blah, 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 blah. Let's get to where his imprisonment and trial. This is what I care about. I don't care what you care about, but this is what I care about. So the imprisonment and trial and his execution from 1593 to 1600. During the 7 years of his trial in Rome, Bruno was held in confinement, lastly in the Tower of Nona. Some important documents about the trial are lost, but others have been preserved, among them a summary of the proceedings that was rediscovered in 1940. Numerous charges against Bruno based on some of his books, and as well as the witness accounts, including blasphemy, immoral conduct, hearsay, and matters of dogmatic theology, and involved some of the basic doctrines of his philosophy and cosmology. Luigi Firpo speculates the charges made up against Bruno by the Roman Inquisition were holding opinions contrary to Catholic faith, also Catholic faith. One, two, three, four, five. Five opinions contrary to the Catholic faith, because, the Catholics ruled Europe during this time. Claiming the existence of plurality of worlds and their eternity, and believing metempsychosis and the transmission of the human soul into brutes, dealing in magics and divinity. Bruno defended himself as he had in Venice, insisting that he had accepted the Church's dogmatic teachings, but trying to preserve the basis of cosmological views. In particular, he held firm on his beliefs of plurality of worlds, ahead of his time. Although he was admonished to abandon it, his trial was overseen by the Inquisitor Cardinal Bellarmine, who demanded a full recantation, which Bruno eventually refused. On 20 of January 1600, Pope Clement VII, whatever that is, declared Bruno a heretic, and the Inquisition issued a sentence of death according to the correspondence of Gaspar Schope of Breslau. Bear with me because these are Italian and French words that I don't know. He said that have made threatening gestures towards his judges and have replied, Miori some long Latin or French or Italian. Perhaps you pronounce this sentence against me with the greater fear than I receive it. He was turned over to the secular authorities on 17 February 1600 in Campo di Fiore, a central Roman market square, naked, with his tongue imprisoned because it was a wicked of words. He was burned alive at the stake. His ashes were thrown into the Tiber River. All Bruno's works were placed in an index of the Liborium, whatever that is, in 1603. The Inquisition cardinals who judged Mr. Bruno were Cardinal Bellarmino, Cardinal Madruzzi, Cardinal Borghese, later Pope Paul V, Domenico, Cardinal Pinelli, Pompeo, a bunch of people. The measures taken to prevent Bruno from continuing to speak have resulted in his becoming of a symbol of free thought and free speech in present-day Rome, where annual memorial service takes place close to the spot where he was executed. I didn't know they had free speech in Rome. I didn't think they did. I don't think they do. Not compared to like Americans. Americans can say whatever they want some days. But did not think they had actual free speech. So, this man believed that what we believe today, that the earth rotates around the sun and that all the stars in the sky are also suns that have planets, which has been proven today. Not all stars, I don't believe, have planets, but let's get into what the late Vatican position is. So, most recently, which is interesting, the Vatican published a few official statements about Mr. Bruno's trial and execution in 42. Cardinal Giovanni Mercati, who discovered a number of lost documents related to Bruno's trial, stated that the church was perfectly in justifying in condemning him. And on the 400th anniversary of Bruno's death in 2000, Cardinal Angelo Sodano declared Bruno's death to be a sad episode. But despite his regret, he defended Bruno's prosecutors, maintaining that the inquisitors had deserved to serve freedom and promote the common good and did everything possible to save his life. I don't think they did. I don't think they desired to serve freedom and promote common good because they weren't promoting free thought and free speech. And I don't think they did everything they could do to save his life besides make him shut up. In the same year, Pope John Paul II made a general apology for the use of violence that some have committed in service of the truth. Exactly. No. And violence that some have committed in service of the truth, but that wasn't the truth. There is stars with planets, and we rotate around the sun. Now, I might be young, but I wasn't born yesterday young to realize. I think they made this discovery before the year 2000. Mr. Cardinal Angelo Sodano. I don't know if you're still alive, but Sir or Pope John Paul. I still don't believe by year 2000. I believe that the truth had came out that we rotate around the sun. I mean, let's ask old Gemini. I mean, I think overall the Egyptians, when they were building the pyramids, knew we rotated around the sun. Oh, look at that. Galileo. Galileo. 10 years. 10 years after this dude was killed, he made that observation as the smoking gun using his telescope. So 10 years later, this dude died. 10 years before. But that is Mr. Bruno, the man ahead of his time for realizing that the stars have planets and the planets revolve around the sun. Join us here next time on Wiki Reader as we dive into another Wikipedia page. Like, comment, and subscribe what you would like to see next here on Wiki